This is a book review on Built by Wendy, Coats and Jackets by Wendy Mullen. One thing I love about this book is I love the spiral binding and how it lays flat, which is really, really good when you're using a step-by-step book for project sewing. Let me just briefly touch on a couple things here. Here is the table of contents. I don't know how well this will focus. Has an introduction. Chapter 1 is creating coats and jackets for all occasions. Chapter 2 is pattern play, using them, altering them, keeping them in shape. Talks about, fit and folding fabric and cutting. So it does have a lot of basic instructions in here if you are more of a beginner sewer, but I definitely think this is more of an intermediate book. Chapter 3 is In Stitches, which is sewing notes for coats and jackets. Kind of gives just a little bit more in depth on different kinds of supplies you'll need, about sewing facings, raw openings, seam allowances. Then over here is chapter 4 is the fitted jacket. These go into the basically what she's helping you to sew in here, and I'll touch on these. I'll show you examples in the book. But chapter 4 is the fitted jacket, and out of the fitted jacket they have these right here that you can sew using the fitted jacket pattern, which is like a pea coat and a jacket that wraps. Chapter 5 is the basic jacket, and what you can sew using these pattern pieces is the Jackie jacket, a cute little sportier one called Code Orange, a poncho, and then chapter 6 is the straight coat, which is like a Baja style, a bomber, Army of One, Paddington coat. And then, of course, at the back, there's resources, glossary, and some other indexes and things like that. Let me just kind of briefly just flip through here. She does offer a lot of information on, kind of what to expect in this book. Basically, it says right here in this book, I've included 3 patterns: the fitted jacket, the basic jacket, and the straight coat, along with many different project ideas for customizing each one to create a wide range of styles. I picked these 3 basic patterns because they are templates that cover a range of silhouettes. So the way the book is kind of done here is she includes the basics called the big 3, and here's the fitted jacket, the basic jacket, and the straight coat. And then included in this book are the pattern pieces, the basic pattern pieces for those jackets. Now, when you go to sew one of her jackets, you're going to have to kind of create your own templates for some of the more detailed pattern pieces. And she'll tell you, how to, to cut a 2x4 square or whatever. So there is instructions on doing that, but you're not just going to be able to dive right in and start cutting pattern pieces. These are not full pattern pieces for each project. These are the basic pattern pieces. So anyway, back to the how she has the book done up, the big 3. Then she goes into considering your shape and all the different things on details, closures. How to pick fabrics. And then it goes into chapter 2, which is the pattern play, which is altering, tools that you'll need, sizing, things like that. Again, just kind of browsing through here so you can kind of get a better idea of what the book is set up for. So let me go ahead then and get into, here's a nice section that I liked on sewing linings. Let me just show you how that's set up, give you just kind of an idea. The book is very, very basic. There's not a lot of graphics and things like that. It's not a real pretty book. There is a lot of significant information, not a lot of detail. Really, like I said, I think you're going to have more intermediate skills for this book. So let me, here's just an idea of how she lays out a project. She'll say project 1, and then she gives kind of an example of it, the supplies you'll need, and then she gives some different suggestions. Here's, pattern adjustments. She talks, again, shows the patterns, how to lay them out, how to cut them. Again, I really like these little sections here called the alternative basically on how to design it maybe a little bit different. So it kind of gives you some general ideas. Again, and then she goes into the sewing. See, not a lot of detail when you go into the sewing. So if you're going to have a lot of questions or you're more of a beginner, then this is going to, she leaves a lot of things out. You kind of have to know what you're doing. Thought this was a cute little jacket here. It's called the Pretty Baby Doll. Again, it has the supplies, the pattern pieces, how to lay it out, and then sewing it. And then again, the little alternative here to create a little bit different jacket. And this is getting way too long of a review. So let me just briefly, here's another jacket I liked. The Jackie jacket. Baja style was another one, a real cute little pullover. And again, she gives you a great alternative here to turn that little pullover jacket into Life's a Beach, and then you've got a cute little beach cover up. So anyway, I'm just going to briefly just kind of finish flipping through it here, and then you can kind of make your own decision. And I think this is the absolute longest review I've ever done. Not one of my favorite books. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. You know, I see a lot of sewing books, and I've seen a lot of different sewing books that have a lot more cuter detail in them, and the pictures are better, the graphics are better, there's more information. So I'm only giving this 3 out of 5 stars just because I think there is a better books out there. But you know, a lot of people really like Wendy Mullen, and so if you're used to sewing with her and her books, then this would be definitely a book that you would need to buy. And if you're really wanting to add some coats and jackets into your wardrobe or sewing for other people, then this would be a great book.